Welcome back to Netrush Report, your home for the most dramatic, emotional, and unexpected stories from the world of tennis. If you live for the rivalries, the struggles, and the moments that define this incredible sport, hit that subscribe button and join the rush. Casper Ruud, one of the most consistent and respected figures on the ATP Tour, is known for being calm, humble, and honest. But after lifting his 14th career title at the Stockholm Open, Ruud didn't hold back when asked about the tour's brutal schedule and how it affects players differently. He started by acknowledging what everyone in tennis already knows. The calendar has become insanely demanding. From January to November, top players are traveling the world, jumping across continents, surfaces, and time zones. And as we've seen with players like Holger Rune, who suffered a physical setback in Stockholm, the grind is beginning to show. But Ruud didn't stop there. He gave a deeper, psychological explanation for why some players, especially Carlos Alcaraz and Jannik Sinner, seem to handle it so much better. In his words, the schedule is harder for others compared to Carlos and Jannik. At first glance, that might sound strange. After all, Alcaraz and Sinner are constantly playing deep into tournaments, week after week, title after title. Shouldn't that make their workload harder? But Ruud's logic hits differently. He explained that winning changes everything. When you're winning consistently, when you're holding trophies, breaking records, and feeling unbeatable, your body feels lighter, your motivation stays high, and the fatigue fades into the background. Every match becomes fuel. Meanwhile, for players who lose early, the pain isn't just physical, it's mental. Ruud admitted that it's far more draining to recover after tough losses, to get back into training, to reset for the next event knowing you're not in that elite rhythm that players like Alcaraz and Sinner thrive in. He said it plainly. It's much harder to bounce back after losses. That's where the gap truly lies. Not in ability, not even in fitness, but in the mental and emotional boost that comes with dominance. And he's right. Think about it. Carlos Alcaraz and Jannik Sinner have not just been playing great tennis this year. They've been rewriting what it means to be young and elite in the modern game. Between the two of them, they've shared all 4 Grand Slam titles of the season. They met in the final of the Six Kings Slam, a blockbuster showdown that Sinner won, taking home an eye-watering $6 million prize. That's the level they're operating on, every week, every court, every challenge. And yet, despite the insane workload, neither Alcaraz nor Sinner looks burned out. They smile, they joke, they play freely. While other players are nursing injuries or exhaustion, these two look invincible. Casper Ruud called them completely unplayable. And coming from someone who has faced both multiple times, that says a lot. He's not just complimenting their skill, he's acknowledging a psychological wall that they've built between themselves and the rest of the field. To understand what Ruud means, you have to step into a player's mind for a second. Imagine spending weeks preparing for a tournament, flying halfway across the world, adapting to a new surface, and losing in the second round. You're frustrated, exhausted, and questioning everything. Now you've got 3 days before your next event starts. Meanwhile, players like Alcaraz and Sinner, they're deep into week 2 of a tournament, gaining rhythm, confidence, and prize money. Their fitness team is optimized around victory. Their mindset is bulletproof because success reinforces belief. That's what Ruud calls the psychological impact of winning. It's not just about being fit, it's about being fulfilled. Ruud admitted that players outside that winning zone face a tougher reality. When you're not winning titles, the grind feels heavier. When you're chasing the top instead of living there, the calendar doesn't feel like an opportunity. It feels like a marathon with no finish line. And it's not just Ruud feeling it. Many ATP players have started speaking up about how the tour's relentless schedule is pushing athletes to their limits. From Draper and Fritz calling for changes after Djokovic's injury retirement, to Rune dealing with fatigue-related injuries, it's clear the system is straining even the fittest. But Ruud's take adds an emotional layer. He's not just talking about overuse injuries or flight fatigue. He's talking about something deeper, the psychology of endurance. For Alcaraz and Sinner, tennis right now is pure momentum. Every time they step on court, they expect to win. Every swing carries purpose. Every win adds another layer to their self-belief. That kind of mindset can make even a 10-month season feel manageable because the victories feed their energy. But for others, even world-class athletes like Ruud, that same schedule can feel suffocating. You train just as hard, travel just as far, but the results aren't always there. You start questioning your form, your choices, even your body. And in that mental space, every new tournament feels heavier than the last. Ruud's honesty about this imbalance struck a chord with fans. Because he's not blaming the top players, he's acknowledging why they're thriving. It's not luck. It's not favoritism. It's the simple truth that success creates energy, and that energy creates more success. Still, there's a question that Ruud's comments raise. Should tennis continue with a schedule that favors only the strongest mentally and physically? Or is it time to rethink the system, so that more players can sustain peak performance without burning out? Ruud isn't the only one asking. Even legends like Novak Djokovic have spoken about needing more recovery time, fewer mandatory events, and better coordination between the ATP, ITF, and tournament organizers. Djokovic himself has pulled out of multiple events this year, citing exhaustion and injury. And if even he is struggling, what chance do younger or lower-ranked players have? Meanwhile, Alcaraz and Sinner continue to dominate. Their rivalry has become the heartbeat of the ATP Tour, modern, electric, and fueled by respect. Sinner's calm, technical precision meets Alcaraz's fearless, explosive creativity. Together, they've pushed men's tennis into a new golden era. But what Ruud is reminding everyone is this. While we celebrate these giants, the rest of the field is quietly suffering under the same system. And not everyone has the luxury of joy in exhaustion. After his Stockholm title, Ruud will head next to Basel, where neither Alcaraz nor Sinner will compete. They've both earned their rest, already qualified for the ATP finals in Turin. Ruud, on the other hand, will keep grinding, trying to gather points, momentum, and belief before the season's close. And that right there is the divide, not just in rankings, but in rhythm. For the top two, the path ahead is about fine-tuning greatness. For others, it's survival. Still, Ruud isn't bitter. In fact, he ended his comments with admiration. He said it's up to the rest of the tour to catch up. Because what Alcaraz and Sinner are doing right now, physically, mentally, and emotionally, is setting a new standard for professional tennis. They're not just playing better tennis. They're handling the pressure, the travel, and the expectations with a balance that few have mastered at their age. Sinner, especially after his Six Kings Slam win, has shown remarkable control, both in temperament and in timing. While Alcaraz thrives on flair and fire, Sinner dominates through discipline and focus. They are opposites, and yet perfectly matched. And maybe that's what inspires Ruud the most. Because in their rise, he sees the blueprint of what's possible, not just for himself, but for everyone still fighting to close the gap. Casper Ruud may not have the power of Alcaraz or the precision of Sinner, but he has something equally valuable: perspective. He understands the grind, he respects the challenge, and he's honest enough to admit when others are doing it better. In a sport that often glorifies perfection, that kind of honesty is rare. And that's why his comments matter. Because they reveal what it really takes to survive and thrive on the ATP Tour. As fans, it's easy to watch the highlights and assume everyone's playing the same game. But as Ruud reminded us, not all victories are created equal, and not all struggles are visible. Casper Ruud's insight gives us a new way to look at tennis, not just as a game of skill, but as a test of emotional endurance. Alcaraz and Sinner might be unplayable right now, but it's players like Ruud who show us the truth about what that dominance really costs. What do you think? Should the ATP change its schedule to protect more players? Or is this just the natural order of champions rising above the grind? Drop your thoughts below, and don't forget to hit subscribe if you love stories that go deeper than the scoreline. This is Netrush Report, where tennis meets emotion, and every rally tells a story.